My mom told me not to talk to strangers on the internet, but I'm glad I didn't listen. We are the Certified Noonas, your sisters in the love of Asian entertainment.
I am Amanda.
I'm Jessie.
I'm Natalia.
And I'm Sky.
And it's that time again. Boo-doo-boo-boo-boo! Newsnas! Newsnas! We're here to tell the news. Woo, woo, woo!
I know you guys are super jealous of our background music.
I know.
These episodes.
Incredible.
Spent a lot of time composing it. It's
copyright free in case you want to use it.
Listen,
you are welcome to.
Listen, if you want to download it and use it for your own news-based episodes,
we will not come for you.
There you go. Enjoy. So that's right. We're back with another episode of the Newsnas. Yay! Spring 2021 edition. What has been happening lately? What have, the people on the other side of the world been up to? Well, we're going to do a selection of things that we found interesting and newsworthy from this past little while and talk about them like we do. Listen, if this is your first episode, this is new. But if this is not your first Newsnet episode, you know what's going down. You know what's about to happen.
You know how we roll.
You know how it goes. So who would like to begin?
I will.
Go.
I mean,
go for it.
Just we were talking about this a little bit before, but it feels like some of the big news in K-pop over the last month is the Brave Girls. They're incredible comeback story with this 4-year-old song that this group was on the verge of disbandment. 2 of the girls had moved out of the dorm. They had basically decided, this is like a 10-year-old girl group, I think. And they basically said, it's never going to happen for us. It's just not working. Nothing's happening. It's just time. Let's move on to the next thing, I guess. And suddenly their song, Rollin', starts moving up the charts. And they're like, what's going on with that? Like, why are people suddenly listening to this song out of nowhere? Well, somebody made a fan edit. When this song came out, these girls did a ton of military shows. They traveled and they performed and performed and performed. And somebody put a fan edit together of a bunch of these shows, and it gained traction on YouTube. And people were like, yeah, I guess there's a lot of interviews and stuff with guys who were in the military who were like, oh, I remember those girls performing for us, and that was so cool. And these people started watching this video, and then they started watching the actual music video, and they started streaming the music, and they started buying it. And suddenly, 4 years later, the song is topping the charts, and they're invited to do music shows. They've had their first win in 10 years with a 4-year-old song, and then they continue to have wins.
They got 5 or 6 consecutive music show wins.
Yeah, and they've gotten all
beat
kills.
IU.
And then they've gotten all kills, chart all kills, which
they
beating IU.
Records.
They beat IU. They beat Rose from Blackpink.
Yeah.
They beat top male groups, which is literally the biggest thing in music shows. But
they've set a new record for the most perfect all kills by a girl group. It was previously held by Twice, and now they have this record.
And they're going on the Knowing Bros.
Oh,
yeah, they're doing variety stuff. Yeah,
nice. I'm so happy for them. I don't even really particularly care for the song, but I'm so happy for them.
Yeah, it's just so much fun to hear this kind of success story.
Great.
Especially knowing how hard it is for girl groups in particular once you hit a certain age. That's awesome.
It's so good. And you know what? Even if after this all dies down, if they're all still but we still want to break up and go our own ways because we had plans and we were going to do stuff. What a great note to go out on. It's got to open so many doors for those things that they were hoping to move into next. It just has to be better than we faded out slowly. And maybe it doesn't. Maybe they're label is like, oh, well, we've been sitting on you for doing nothing, but hey, let's, get recording something new and keep this
Can you
rolling.
imagine the staff of that label being like, oh, this is great. Oh, crap, we got to come up with stuff to do.
We got to do something now.
Like, oh, shit, do we have to have a comeback? Like, do we have to record an album now? Like, what's going on?
What are we doing? So, I mean, I don't know what they're going to do, but either, like, whatever they decide, I'm so happy for them that they have this going forward and that it does, like, open doors and lets them hopefully make choices based on making choices that you want to make and not just, this is what we're forced into because, whatever. So,
on that note, I saw a little blurb in an article about, I don't remember which variety show it was that they were on, but somebody, they joke around on variety shows and stuff, but somebody was saying that they were like Ajima, like level, despite the fact that they're like, what, 30?
30, yeah.
And I think either Minho was there or like, somehow he had a comment involved and he was like, no, or was it Lee Tuck? Anyway, I think it might have been Lee Tuck. He's like, what the crap does that make me? Like, he was just like...
He's like, oh, am I grandpa now? Like,
I think, he said, like, am I grandpa now? And so, it was obvious that...
Rude.
But then, the fans, they were like, oh, no. That was not a cool thing to say to girls.
No.
Because, like...
Because they're not. Like,
Noonas.
Right.
Like, they're... I mean...
Barely.
Like, yeah. I mean,
would it be acceptable to like say it for like a non-idol too? Like it's not a standard thing to do in their culture. Like so, put it towards the idols too. It's not they're not immune to your like being shitty and
right. And then as far as over here, there's guy groups that are older and no one gives them crap for it, and yet it didn't become a huge deal, but it was a thing that. It's like, no, just be
rude.
Just enjoy, be happy for them and don't drag it down. It's just so cool. I'm so happy for them. And I love that, like, pretty much everybody seems happy for them. Like, there are a few of those, like, crazy fans that are, like, mad about stuff and get cranky about how this is just, it's a flash in the pan. And I'm like, whatever.
Well...
like, listen, like, nobody cares what you think.
Right? Like, most people are happy for them. Like, most people on Twitter are super happy for them. And
when you have a fandom that is having a comeback at the same time as them, and you have really awful, immature fans as a part of that fandom, some of them end up saying bad things that are worth ignoring.
And I have a little message to those fans who've decided to be negative about all this. Shut the fuck up. Nobody cares. Get help.
You still have all those awards.
Yeah, and you can suck it. Like, we don't care.
You accomplished nothing. How does that make you feel?
The only thing you accomplish is that a large portion of your fandom and other fandoms now think you're a piece of shit. So congratulations!
and I guarantee you, the groups that are promoting with fangirls right now, or have been, they are actually just tickled pink that like Girls gets to get these awards.
Because
like,
you know what? It's also like a nice like for
it's
like
a model for them. Like
for these groups that maybe struggling a little and like maybe like still haven't gotten their first win or whatever, and they'd be like, look, it could still happen. It's a hope. It's a beacon of hope for these smaller groups.
Yeah, it's really inspiring because they have that like attainable goal like now. Because anything is possible, and it's literally we're seeing it happen. And I think it's like also probably like really great that it's like happening very organically too, because it is so much largely the population or the popularity of this song is from the general Korean public, and that's like huge. That's a really big thing, and that's a nice thing too, to know that like
and not a big success. 3, big 4, whatever company. Like that's another thing for these smaller companies, these smaller groups, and the ones that have been around for a long time that are just trying to exist. Yeah, it's really cool.
Well, especially we live in such a like this fast moving society, and like K-pop is such a like hit it quick or you're a flop kind of a thing that, yeah, you do see these groups that like have been out for a year or two and don't have a win yet. And people are like so depressed over it or upset over it. And you're like, okay, but then to see that and be like, okay, but like, it's only 2 years. Let's keep going. Let's keep moving. And
you never know what the general population will latch on
exactly.
to too. Like,
and like, this isn't the first time that we've seen older songs suddenly make a comeback later on, but like not usually 4 years later. That's a pretty big like comeback gap. So but like, it's always cool when it happens.
Like, I mean, it's always cool when it's like, hey, just to get invited back to music shows. Like, usually that's kind of like, that's the apex of it, right? Like, that's awesome.
Like, I just wonder, like, the stylist, there's, like, the group stylist is just, like, lying in bed, just, you know, chilling, and they get a call being like, oh, yeah, we need you. Brave girls. We gotta get costumes. They gotta go on a music show. And being like, what?
Wouldn't it be fun if they're like the same stylist and they're like, oh, remember when I wanted to do this for that like comeback? Now I can.
Yeah,
that would be amazing.
That would be a fun
like dust off the costumes and get them out.
Yeah,
it would be actually a really cool like manager episode. The manager of the variety show, like. And kind of
manager of a group that was about to disband, and then all of a sudden be like, "Oh shit! What just happened?"
We're not just busy. We're busy.
We busy. We thriving.
It like includes like them going to their family who they've like just previously told that they were like coming home.
Be like, oh,
about that.
So like, or like they had rented that, you know, like they had already talked about maybe signing a lease for, you know, like all these these plans. It's like, no, I have to go cancel all these things because I'm going to be busy.
Like, no, we got famous
suddenly.
Or in the meantime, any significant others, it's like, peace out. I'm going to be busy for like the next month.
All right, Jesse, what's another piece of news? What do you have for us?
Junho is back, so officially, all of 2PM is back. Yay!
The set is complete.
I know it's been a ride. This is kind of, I guess, the first group officially that like I focused on kind of all of the group being in military. You know, kind of get screwed over by my one group, but like this group helped me out. It's fine, whatever.
It happens.
It's weird because like I remember everybody like starting to leave, and like I was like, this is kind of interesting because it was like when I was starting to follow a lot of people on social media too, and I was like, oh, this is kind of an interesting thing. And now here we are, they're back and now going to be doing stuff. Like it's been fun like watching all like their V lives of all of them together, or at least partially all together. Tech is still not in it a lot, but he's like currently filming, so like he's kind of
busy.
Like he's busy. Like I mean, but he's been trying to do a lot of stuff. I know they have like a part of their like reality series thing that they do. They did an episode or filmed an episode that hasn't come out yet, where it was the 5 of them, and then Tech like specifically left set to come visit them on their set on his break to like film some stuff and then go on. So yeah, I'm like, oh, I love you all. You're so great. And I'm so excited for new music. And I mean, like, it's been nice. Like Junke had all of his like solos, like his Korean, and then he just released the Japanese version, and it's good, but I want them all together now. It's been a while. It's been a really, really long time since all of them are together creating new music, and it is time for that. JYP, give me it. JYP. Do not screw this over.
JYP.
What I thought was interesting with the when looking at our list of enlistments, I'm like, wow, we've been podcasting for that long, because I'm pretty sure we talked about Barrow and Junho. Like, I feel like we talked about them going in. Like,
I think we probably did at one point.
I'm like,
yeah,
how? We've been
yeah,
doing this that long that we're like, it's coming back around, which is nice. I like it.
Is he in talks to be casted for any drama stuff yet?
Yes, he's in talks for, I don't know off the top of my head what the title is, but it's a historical saga.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I don't really know the premise of the show, except for it's got some kings and princes and stuff, because that's how they
roll.
Yeah, that's kind of the genre.
There might even be envoys. You never know.
Yeah.
Oh, if we're lucky, cross your fingers, ladies. Ooh, if we're lucky, we'll get them envoys.
And there hasn't been any like clear like yes or no, but like it kind of seems like it's a good potential thing, since Tech has a couple of other acting things that he's doing. Like right now he's got Vincenzo, but I'm pretty sure Vincenzo is like officially wrapped up in their filming, because they started filming a while ago.
Yeah.
And then he's got the movie that he's currently working on, and then he was also offered a role in another historical drama, and I think it's a potential that like maybe the actor was part of bullying scandals, and that's so it's a quick ad. I don't know, I didn't really look into it. It's all like still like unconfirmed stuff, so I haven't focused on it, because I just tend to be like, okay, if it's not confirmed, I'm just gonna not think about it until
what's the point of like
see it verified. But yeah, and they said they were gonna do a comeback, but it's JYP is crap on a bunch of different things, and I mean, like, this was the month that Day 6 was supposed to have a comeback too, and nothing's been said really. So I mean, like, Wooyoung was like supposed to have his solo comeback like last year when he got out, and that never happened for him. So it's all up in the air. So I'm just like, I do see the news coming in, but like if it's not like substantiated, especially because fandom, like, people love to like latch onto things or like poorly mistranslate things, and so it's like really hard as someone who like is not speaking the language to be like definitive on this news. I'm just like, I'm just gonna let it happen. When I see it validated like on multiple sites, then I'll like officially focus in on it. But they're back, and that's good for me.
Yay.
So okay, so what I'm gonna start with, I found this very amusing. So in Korea, you know, when they like reveal that a new couple is dating, it's usually because Dispatch has like stalked them. That doesn't seem to be the case in Thailand, because the newest IT couple accidentally outed themselves, because the girl posted a picture of the two of them at a spa by accident on Instagram and then deleted it, but everyone saw. So if you remember, we did an episode on Manner of Death, which starred Tulpacorn and Max Natapal. So the man who played the teacher character, he is dating this sweet little actress under GMMTV called Mook. She's so cute. She's in shows like Mint to Be.
She's so popular. Like, she's friends with everybody, and just everybody likes her.
Yes, and apparently so does Max, because he has confirmed that they are indeed dating, and that she should just put the picture back up, because it's happening, and that's that. He's not going to apologize for it. And, you know, it's really funny, because a lot of, like, you know, since he's part of a very popular ship, people get really weird, but everyone's being real cool about it. Because I think,
there's like been one or two, like, wackos.
Yeah, but other than that, people are like, oh, we're so happy he found love. Like, oh, I hope they get married and have lots of babies. And so, like, it's been, but I think it's because, like, you know, like, Max Toll fans are kind of on the older side. Like, so,
that helps.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, like, one of them is getting his PhD and the other one fell in love. How wonderful for them. So we're all very happy. They would make very beautiful babies.
Oh my god.
I'm just putting that out into the universe.
Seriously.
I'm just always surprised, you know, how like celebrities will have that like obviously in this case she had a private Instagram and she posted to the wrong one.
Put it on the wrong one.
And I don't know how like some celebrities could do that, because I know for a fact I would do that. Like I'd fuck it up all the time. And so I wouldn't even try. I'd be like, you know what, a private Instagram.
I'd have to have 2 separate phones or something, right?
The private Instagram really isn't like much. It's just like kind of private, but like really, if it like was exposed, it didn't matter.
Here's a sunset. Ooh, you know, like,
but occasionally it's like people will get like these weird like net detectives. I remember like I forget who it was, but it was like they posted a sunset picture and someone else posted a sunset picture and it looked like it could have been taken from the same location. Like, are they dating? And you're like, come on, guys, come on, move on.
Well, I mean, even with that Mook picture, she took it down really fast. But then people started stalking through their Instagrams to see if and they were like, remember the time when she was posting from this hotel room? Look, he posted from a hotel room around the same time. And it looks like it's the same hotel room, but like the internet are totally different. And you're like, it's different curtains. Like, what do you...
Chill, internet detectives. Like, we get it, you're excited too. Relax.
But then he was in an interview and he was basically like, yeah, I like her.
What do you want from me?
Well...
It's like very manly about it. Like, I like her. What of it? What are you gonna do about it?
And I think people have asked too about like Tull. Well, what about Tull? And he's like, what about him? Like, we've had great fires. Like, we're best friends.
We are only acting as a couple. We're just buddies. Like
they've spent like all their time together, so I'm pretty sure he knows. Like, it's not.
It's like this isn't the salacious cheat scenario you're coming up with in your head.
No.
So we're very happy for them. Yay! Another happy couple. You love to see it.
I'm gonna bring up some kind of weird stuff.
Please.
All right, we like
weird. I guess it's presumptuous of me to say that, but like I find it weird. So. Weird thing number 1, they say it's an AI girl group. I'm not convinced that it was even really a thing because it was so bad.
It's fucking weird. It's what it was, okay?
So when I say AI girl group, like you might be thinking, because we've talked before about aespa, which the thing about aespa is like they actually are a girl group and then they have like counterpart AI stuff and whatever. And that's kind of part of the problem too, obviously, because you're actually portraying real people and anyway, so that's bad. So this AI girl group Eternity,
I hate everything about
supposedly not modeled after, actual people. So like that is a plus, right? Ethically speaking. I guess. But they released a song, or maybe they did their debut. Can you debut if you're an AI? I don't know. I'm Real is the title of their song. If you really want to experience that, I would suggest not, but you can go
real
right
bad.
ahead.
It's one of those, all objective matters.
Yeah. It's one of those things you watch and you're like, no, you're not real. Like, we can tell you're not real. You are not fooling anyone.
Like, uncanny valley to the extreme. You watch it and you feel uncomfortable.
You're just like, this is not a KDA situation. This is
no, these aren't like Vocaloids. Like, no, this is
it's like past the uncanny valley like situation, because they are just so bad. Like, just think of the like worst dancing, worst off key, bad song ever, and that's the biggest problem.
Questionable music. Questionable.
It's like it's to the point where you're like, no one in their right mind would put this out.
It feels like a joke.
It does feel like a joke because it's like it's obvious, like not good and not up to par, and it's just like, why are you wasting your money this way? Nobody's gonna like see that and like want to invest in it. They'll like cancel you immediately. So
the song's not good, the video's not good. Like, we watch movies, we've seen
good CGI.
Like, you can CGI something way better than that. People are doing it like all the time, and their heads are also, like floating independently of their necks and like
and not to be, you know, nitpicky, they're not AI. They don't have artificial intelligence. AI
or maybe they do.
Term. Yeah, maybe. Oh God, maybe they're the ones who made it. Maybe they're sentient computer programs.
Maybe that's the point of the song.
You know what? Maybe not all AI needs to debut as singers. Maybe they can be like, you know, veterinarians or something.
Yeah. maybe the song title "I'm Real" was like a call for help. Like they're trapped in.
They're in this like
I'm real. Let me
out.
out.
In their own form of slave contract in a group. And they're like, but I'm real.
Help me.
Please. And they're like, well, just make this
so
blob.
Bad. It's so bad. Oh, rough.
A connected thing that I saw, and I won't be able to remember their name. And this is not weird. This was actually kind of cool. That's why I'm bringing it up. I thought I stumbled upon like a new girl group. Come to find out, it was just like university students like did a project, but like the costumes, the singing, the dancing, like to me they were debuting. I mean, it was good stuff, and I was like, oh, this is a university project, but like they did a really good job.
And humans. The other one was not a university project.
No, like that was my first CG class project. That was rough.
Secondary weird thing. Oh, so when we talk about K-pop kids,
oh no,
there are some K-pop kid groups that they actually debut really young. So
not just like
there's a newly debuted
20-year-old kids
girl group, right? So like when I usually talk about my kids or my K-pop kids, I'm talking 20, 25. Like,
they could be like 25,
maybe
28. Like I'm like those kids, those
kids.
children.
but at least you know they have. Hopefully, on some level, they could like say something.
They're adults.
You're 20. At least you're an adult. Like it helps.
Yeah.
So there's this new girl group. When I say girl, emphasis on girl.
I hate it.
Cookie.
I hate it.
With the K capitalized as well. Their median age is 13.
Oh, I hate it. I hate it. I hate it.
Yeah.
To the point where, like, when I was doing our Instagram update stuff and I did watch their music video. They did a good job for girls, you know, for little girl, you know, like, the thing is, kids do, now, objectively speaking, the way K-pop does function, girls do start being trainees at that age. Like,
yeah.
That does happen. It's just knowing that they debuted that young, that's the scary part.
Well,
that's the additional
when we were talking
part.
about Miss A, like talking about Susie debuting at like 15 and stuff, and how she struggled with some of the concepts and things, but at least there was older, you know, older members who could kind of look after her. You don't have that if you're all 15, the oldest
if you're
person.
all little like children, there's no one helping. Like,
no,
right.
You know what?
They
it's
don't
like
have it.
I see something like this, and the first thing I think is your CEO's a pedophile, and the second thing I think is they made this so they can take advantage of these girls because kids don't know what the fuck they're doing, and I'm just, it makes me uncomfortable.
It doesn't help that now the song that they released, it doesn't have an English title, so all the English quote unquote title, it's a literal translation title. Mm-hmm. But something to the effect of "seem to really like you." So it's still a song about like liking and all that. Yeah. Now I will say, because I did watch the music video, part of it, you know, they were just wearing overalls, like cute, normal, like there were aspects of this, like they did a good job dressing them as
kids,
little girls. Mm-hmm. And then school uniforms on the other end, you know, with the shorter skirts, and it's like, and then they had like suspenders, and then a couple of them had the suspenders off to the side. I was like, you know, and then there were a couple of dance moves that I was like, that was pretty much a body roll, and I'm like, that's not okay.
And, yeah, it's not, because like what are you gonna say? Who's your target audience? Like,
right?
You say like that your target audience would be like young girls like that. guess what? They don't want body rolls. They don't want to see someone doing a body roll who's like,
yeah, they want to do cute dance moves that they can do too.
Yeah, so like your only other choice is that you are actually trying to cash in on the pedophiles and the males who will spend the money on this, and you are aware of it and are just like, well,
money's
gets us the money, and then they can like debut and have that like fame.
I hate everything about it. It's disgusting.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I don't like it. See, and I don't like it in like the sense that I'm like, I have a 13-year-old niece, and if someone was like, yeah, we're gonna make you a pop star, I'd be like, run. Like, no. Get out.
Yeah.
Like,
no, because I mean, you hear the stories about how hard it is on the adult women, like the ones 18, 19, 20, 21, the creepers and the, you know, just all kinds of stuff that goes on and happens, and they're adults. Like,
it's not
how much worse could it be? It's not safe. It's not safe for adult women. So like, why would it be safe for children? Come on.
And I do want to bring up, I mean, there is a young boy group, and I want to say their Boy Story or something. Off the top of my head, I might be wrong. I just wanted to bring them up because it does exist too, and they've been around for like a year or two at this point. I mean, still some concerns with like, you know, young, not being able to have a say, but you know, their concept was not sexy. It was pretty much rapping, you know, like fully clothed, normal, all these things.
Kids boppy, like,
right. And so, I mean, there's an inherent difference between. But I mean, I just want to say, even for a young boy group, I would still have consent concerns about anything. Yeah. Still, all the more so for girls, though, for obvious reasons.
Yeah,
because of the world we live in. But I didn't want to go too far down that. But like, it is a thing that's happening.
Right.
And then I was even trying to look through the YouTube comments a little bit, and they were all supportive, which was good, because some people would say like, I'm pretty much worried about them, but you know, hope they're able to be okay. You know, that's pretty much the general like
it's funny because like anytime like a woman that I know has mentioned them, they're always like, ooh, I don't like this. Like, it's like universal discomfort from every adult woman who witnesses this, being like, ooh, no.
Yeah.
No.
I would really wonder what trainee girls of that age would think about it. You know, like other trainee girls, because there are other trainee girls that age, because a lot of them do start young. So it would be interesting to see what they would say about it. But general consensus: do not debut people unless they're like
adults, please, like 18. What's wrong with debuting at 18?
16 minimally. Golly.
Amanda, what other news are you got for us?
BigHit changing their name to HYBE, I think is how it's supposed to be pronounced.
Is it? I've been saying
that's what I saw. I know, I kept saying that too, but I did see somewhere that it's supposed to be pronounced HYBE. But I don't know if that's correct either, so I don't know. It's HYBE.
It makes me think of the new girl group TRYBE.
Yeah.
Which is spelled like tribe.
I don't know why. I guess it's because they want to venture into more than just music. But I'm like, other things can also be big hits, right?
Yeah,
like a movie can be a big hit. And like,
what's funny is they're trying to say, so like they'll say it's because we're focusing on music, but then they'll talk about all these other ventures that are obviously not music related.
Yeah.
But then they're like, we're getting back to the music. It's like, but you're not. Like,
I think that's what they're trying to do with the new name. I think they're just trying to like pass it off that they can like do all these other adventures under this name, because they have like stated that they're going to still be big hit labels when they're talking about like, so that's not changing. So I honestly think it was always his intention to go into this realm of business, and has the money now to do it, and is just
and
taking advantage. And
it kind of makes sense to to do that. Like if you're going to try and become a bigger corporation, a bigger company, and they've been like partnering and buying up all these other smaller labels and stuff. So now instead of saying, okay, now you're on Big Hit too, now they have a parent company and they have all their little labels as part of the parent company.
Yeah, like, you know, and C&E and parent, stuff too,
you know, and it's nice that they're giving it a separate name in a sense, because I mean, we always have these problems where we're like, JYP, no, JYP Entertainment, not JYP the person, or it's like SM Entertainment, but not, you know, like, and you're just kind of,
JYP
like,
also
has their fingers
like,
in a lot of pies.
Like, terrible thing, because the P already has an E attached to it when you say it, so you don't want to say E after it, because it would be like you saying E twice, and that's why like you
also
stop.
Like,
JYP.
you know, say what you want about Big Hit and HYBE or whatever, but at least he didn't name his company after himself.
That's it.
Hey,
so, like,
I don't know, maybe does HYBE have anything to do with his name?
I can't figure out why that was chosen.
Like, I can understand if it's not HYBE, it's HYBE, and because the B would be like a V and us, and so then it's a play on Hive, and Hive actually like works where you have like a lot of like things that works. So hopefully that's it. HYBE sounds like, isn't there like a department store or something that's like that here?
In my region, HYBE is a grocery store.
Okay. That may be what I'm thinking of.
So
based in Iowa, but lots of places in the Midwest. So
it's a choice, I guess.
I mean, like, it's, you know, it's an understandable choice. It's just
people, the funniest thing that I kept seeing when they were announcing it was that people were really worried that the little Big Hit thing with the balls and the at the beginning of the videos was going to go away. They're like, but I need that at the beginning of the video. And I'm like, I don't know, kids. I don't know what to tell you.
I hate to tell you that will probably eventually change one way or another. At some point.
Life has changed. The only constant is change, my dudes.
Yeah.
Oh, and they also I think they were talking about getting a new building, or they got a new building.
Yeah, I think they did. I think they got a new building a little while ago, or we're building a new building or something. Something huge and fancy
fancy pants building.
Because they got money now.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And they pretty much own everything. So
hey, you know.
Yeah,
they do.
It's funny when you hear older like K-pop fans start talking about like the big three, and they're like, wait, but like, is YG one of the big three anymore? I don't know, maybe not. But like Big Hit, is Big Hit one of the big three? So a lot of times you see people like Big Five now. They say the Big Five because I'm not sure who the fourth of that, you know. But hey,
what would
I don't know. It's like SM and JYP and YG and Big Hit, HYBE, whatever.
Well, I mean, like, it's not the same situation, but like back when like it was the big three, Cube was almost at the levels of those three. So I guess in like comparison, like if you were trying to like focus, I don't know. Because I also now don't, everything blends together, so I don't know what group is what. And
right, and it doesn't help that knowing that, for instance, Big Hit went in with, was it JYP or, you know, there was a lot of, oh, we're going to go together for this like technology for online concerts, and we're going to do this and that together. So at this point, it's like it overlaps so much with a lot of things.
It's hard. I'm like, I don't want to deal with it.
It's also similar to when you're watching the K-pop kids be on like a variety show or something, and they know it's like an SBS show, but they'll be like, hey, are you going to be on such and such drama? Well, then the drama is not an SBS drama, like it'll be a JTBC or something. And they're like, am I allowed to say that? Because, yeah, sure, whatever. So like often it's this, like, am I allowed to promote on this show that's obviously not the same place? But...
Yeah, I mean, like, we have it here too. If you've ever like had to deal with safety data sheets, you know the plight of like trying to find like things, and like the fact that like Procter and Gamble and Kellogg and all those like companies have like such a reign on stuff. I was like we had to switch over. Long story short, the safety sheets went to a different system, so we had to re-update everything. And so I had to go and like contact companies for these updated versions of these safety sheets. And I was literally talking to like Kellogg employees for spray paint. It happens everywhere. It's just
It's odd watching it happen.
Especially with like a music angle, and you're like, oh
yeah,
it's interesting. Goedam, which is a horror kind of anthology, I guess. It's like a series, but it's really more of an anthology. It's produced by Zany Brothers, which is the label that, or not the label, the company that has the label that Alexa is on. They're mostly a like a special effects production house. That's their main focus. And so they produced this series, Goedam. It's on Netflix. Really short episodes. I personally really liked it. Probably, I think a lot of people didn't like it because the episodes were short, but they essentially, each episode focuses on an urban legend. But like, especially if you're coming in on like trying to like watch it as someone who's never experienced like Korean urban legends, you're gonna be like, what is this? I don't know. And like, I think that's where a lot of the fault lied. They announced that they were going to do a second season, which I think is very cool.
Nice.
And a ton of people have been tied to it. So far we have Shonu from Monsta X, Minhyuk from B2B, Park Yun from The Boys, Jisoo from Lovelies, Jaehyun from Golden Child, and Sola from WJSN, and EXY? EXY? I don't know. And Lee Ho-wan are all on the casting lineup for the second season, which I'm like excited for. I'm excited that there's a second season coming. It's like the episodes are ridiculously short. I think they're like 10 minutes, but like almost 5 of it is the opening and ending credits. Like that's a sort of short.
Okay.
But it's definitely a horror. There is some gore in it. It is kind of like a little bit more to the younger crowd because a lot of it's like set in schools, and there's not like too much of a tie in between the episodes too. So there is kind of some independence between the episodes, but it should be fun, especially with like all those names attached to them, because I think this is like perfect work, especially if you haven't done any acting before. I think it's a good jumping off point and quick and easy, especially if you have
doable for idol
schedules, you know. And it's also, I mean, be biased, but like horror is like the best for like any sort of like actor. It's fun. It's like fun to like run around and like be scared and like that be your job for the day, or like, you know, be in prosthetics or like fake blood or like that sort of thing. It adds a level to acting that like you don't normally have. So it's fun that way. But I'm excited for it. I'm excited for the cast, but I'm just also generally excited that there's a second season.
So, okay. I have still been watching. I am all caught up with River Where the Moon Rises. Okay? I've been watching the new actor. He's doing fantastic. So fantastic, in fact, that everyone seems to agree that they're actually going to go and reshoot all of the scenes with Jisoo from the first 6 episodes with the replacement, whose name is Na In-woo, so that it can be aired as a full anthology with him. He's so cute, guys.
Like, I've heard really good things. Like a lot of people, I saw somebody said that like he stepped into it so seamlessly that they forgot that it was even ever somebody else's role. Like
and he did it so quickly. Like I was laughing with my husband about it because I was like, day 1, Jisoo apologizes. Day 2, Jisoo is fired. Day 3, Nanwoo is hired. Day 4, new episode with him in it is already somehow completed. And you're just like, how did he how did they do this so quickly? Like, how did he learn his lines?
Oh, well, I can guarantee you he didn't. He was being fed them and they were...
Oh, for sure.
I mean, there's a level. You can memorize that fast, but, like, there's a level.
There's definitely, like, a PA holding up a whiteboard.
On
screen, like, next to the camera. And it's like, and that's to be under, but he's doing a really good job. And his chemistry with the female lead is so cute, but, like, delightfully awkward because, you know, they're playing, you know, two virgins who fall in love. So, like, it's cute.
Awkward works.
Yeah, like, you know, they just have these awkward, like, yeah, it's adorable. The show is actually really good. I do recommend it. But I will probably make my mom watch it once they have, like, the full thing finished, because my mom and I once started a historical and never finished it, and she just, like, will not shut up about this historical we never finished that I don't even remember the title of.
So you can pretend it's this one?
And so it's gonna be like, Mom, okay, we're gonna forget about that other one. We're gonna watch this one instead, okay? You're gonna love it.
My boy, Cha Eun-woo, he got casted in Island, which I think it's gonna have 2 seasons, it sounds like.
Yes. 2 seasons already, like, planned.
So E.G., Kim Nam-gil, Im Shi-won. That is a cast.
It's one of my, like, top ones that I've been, like,
and it's gonna be Exorcist stuff, and, like, I'm gonna probably be scared out of my mind, but I'm gonna watch the heck out of it.
Exorcist, but potentially, like, Monsters too.
Yeah,
on Jeju Island. It's like,
loving it.
And then his role is supposed to be, like, an exorcist priest that's, like, kind of funny, I think. So, like, I'm really looking forward to this.
Listen, it's okay if you'll be scared. We'll watch it with you. We'll mentally hold your hand, like, we'll spiritually through the internet. We'll be okay.
So I'm excited about that. I had no clue that he was going to be thrown into a drama so quick. Because I was like, where's the drama news? Because I knew he was going to be cast in something.
Oh, I hear like, he also has a little other bit of news of the hair variety.
Oh. So, in case you're not into K-pop, in case you're on the drama side of things, just for the record, hair color changes in K-pop groups are like a big deal to the fans. They just are. So it is hair. He has dyed his hair before, but it's always shades of brown. Shades of dark brown. That's as far as he would ever go. I always assumed it was for all of his CF commercial stuff, just because he has a bazillion contracts. So, and then the fact that whenever he was in My Idea is Gangnam Beauty, that character had gray hair. So, like, since he didn't go gray for that role, to all of us, we're like, okay, that's pretty much, he's never gonna mess with
Yeah, that's not him.
So then, like, he just randomly kind of wanted to this comeback, I guess. So he first went blonde, then went gray, now he's blue. But on the day that he went blue and I, like, shared a picture with Jesse's like, I just got my vaccine appointment. It's because I said that, like, his hair was magic or something.
It became my, like, magic, like, thing. Like, he got me that, like, spot. And I was like, I didn't know. I mean, like, I like him, but, like, he's not my favorite by any means, but I guess he is now.
Get you a vaccine, man.
Yeah.
So
cool.
That was the joke about that. And for me, it was a big deal that he had blue hair because, like, really the kid doesn't change hair colors. That is the running joke in our fandom. Like, we always talk about all the hair colors of everybody else, and then there's Rocky, who he never changes hair color either, and then really never changes his hair color.
It's sort of like if you're into EXO, like Dio or Kyungsoo.
Yeah.
No. It'll be like everyone else has these crazy hair colors, and he's like, I have a very sensible hair color that I can wear anywhere. Thank you.
So that's why the entire fandom was just, like, kind of losing their mind about the Unu thing. So funny.
Nice.
But yay for drama news. I was really happy about that drama news. Also, hopefully a different role for him. Because him playing the very attractive high school to college person is great.
We get it.
Like,
we love it.
You know, it'd be good to do something.
We want the range. We want the flavor. You know?
And he has said before he wants to do, you know, some darker roles. So, like, Great.
It's like, it's not his fault he has a beautiful, sweet face. But we have to look beyond his outer beauty to his inner ability.
To chase after monsters, evidently.
Exactly.
Hey, it's always nice when any actor gets to do something more. Like if that's what they want. You know what I mean? If they're saying, I want to do this kind of role, and then they get that, it's nice. It's nice.
So Amanda, what's another piece of news you got for us?
Well, all right. So freaking Motive Village.
Ah, yes.
Motive Village. Okay. So one of my first Thai dramas that I ever watched was Two Moons. Questionable value, production values, but a sweet little story, it's cute. Based on a story that's out there, good stuff. It ends and everyone's like, oh, but there's 3 books in this series. So like, are they going to do the second one? Well, there was drama. There was behind the scenes, like issues and stuff with the cast and blah, blah, blah. So yes, long story short, they made the second book into, a series as well called Two Moons 2, but they completely recast it. All new cast. All right, fine. The new kids are fine too, and I guess I'll watch it. I guess I like you guys too. Cool, whatever. Then that one ends, and
you would think that Motive Village would have learned from the last shenanigans,
but no. So there's all kinds of like stuff going on behind the scenes. Kids getting like they're taking a page out of YB's book and they're trapping these kids in the basement. Like they're just like not letting them do anything because there's rumors about like the director wanted to date one of them and he kept saying no. So they like, not the director, sorry, but like the producer. CEO of the company kind of. And like, so these kids are all like contracted to Motive Village production company. And so Motive Village just said, well, fine, like if you're not gonna, play the games the way we want you to play them, you won't play them at all, and just like wouldn't let them work basically.
A few of them have very strong streaming careers. Let's just say that. They play video games online quite a bit.
So it's been a big pain. And then in the last couple months, a number of them came right out and said, like, no, we're parting ways with the company. Our contract is up and we're done. And we're grateful for the experience that got our names out there. Good luck to the Two Moons 3 kids. And you're like, good luck. And they're casting for the third one now. And everyone's just like,
give up. Just
get
give
it.
Up now.
You want to get your name out. It has done that for these kids. It's got their names out there. They have, now that they're free, gotten other drama roles and stuff. But like Motive Village wants these kids to sign 5-year exclusive contracts with them. Yeah. And we've seen how they treat these kids. So like, no babies, run away.
They also force these kids to make a very terrible boy band, except for the one who refused to date the CEO of the company.
He wasn't allowed to be in it.
Allegedly. He was excluded from their boy band. It wasn't a good boy band. It was very bad.
It really wasn't. Bad. But, and what's interesting is that on the sort of flip side of this, the director from Two Moons 2 and about half of the cast from that show are in on a different like network and stuff. They're putting out a new show coming out soon called Call It What You Want. That is the loosely based true story.
That's really funny.
It's really funny. It's really funny.
It's like so this story is the story of like all the dark stuff that goes on behind the scenes, and basically they're telling all the behind the scenes like garbage that happened during, and you're like, wow, the timing is impeccable. Like it's beautiful timing.
The director is like real messy. Like he spills the tea
so messy
constantly. He is a drama magnet. So
he's constantly on Twitter saying stuff and doing stuff that
it's
you're
like everything that like the kids weren't allowed to say. He'll be like, "Oh, it's a real shame that you sidelined this one actor because he wouldn't date your 50-year-old ass," and you're just like, "Oh,
yeah,
oh shit, oh shit." So he's a bit wild.
Yeah. So now he's
wild. The Two Moons fandom is pretty wild.
It's pretty crazy.
The most innocent, sweet little love story that
like a few weeks back, right before a couple of the actors posted about how they were like out, forever. It was right before that, and one of them was like, some fan like tweeted at one of them, I think at Pavel, and was like, "Are you, 2 moons, 3 when?" And he was like, he basically was like, "Hold your breath, baby," like. See ya, like not gonna happen.
Peace. Like, and then I think my favorite was when Pavel left. He put out like a little like, "Oh, like I'm leaving," blah blah blah. And then the guy who played his boyfriend in the show left and just put the exact same message, but replaced the word Pavel with Dome. And you're like, okay, yeah,
we see you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So messy, Motive Village. Messy. But also,
like, it's clearly time to give up on trying to make Two Moons happen.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it seems that the Train to Busan remake is full steam ahead. It was announced like a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Or like a year or two ago that this was going to happen. And then we didn't really hear anything about it. And then it became a big thing, especially in like the horror communities, like news circuit. So that's when I thought like, oh, this is actually going to be a thing now, like because it like kind of bypassed Asian news markets really, like when I first like caught wind on it, and so it seems like it's going to be an official thing that's probably starting soon. I don't know how they're gonna pull off Train to Busan in the US.
Nobody takes the train.
No, and also it like the trains are like slower than the zombies.
Yeah.
So I don't know how this is gonna be, train. And I'm like, I mean, like I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you that I don't like remakes of things, because I do like remakes of things, and I've obviously seen remakes of like Asian dramas being remade and like been fine with it. It's just the problem with like US remakes is no cultural sensitivity, so they don't even change to things to like that would be
Makes
cultural
sense.
significant to like make it culturally significant in the same respect. But also it tends to be one of those things where they are just like very loose on what they say remake, and it's really they just took the names of the characters and that's it.
Yeah.
Like, so then you're like, you go into it expecting it to be close to the original, and it's not. And I have seen on most of the articles, not in the Asian community, this is just like in the horror community, most people are not okay with this decision. So I don't know how that's gonna affect things, like so I don't know how they plan to make this work just logistically, and then also there doesn't seem to be the following they think they have for this movie.
You know what would be good? I'm just thinking this. What would be kind of a cool way to make it an American movie would be to set it in the Old West, when trains were like
the thing,
they
right?
could do that too, but like I also feel like they don't need to make a remake. They could just make
just have a train.
Yeah, just say, hey, we were inspired that you guys had zombies and trains. Thanks. We're gonna go make a Western.
Exactly.
And
like what they might do.
You can't copyright a zombie on a train. Like,
that's not do that. And like I understand and respect the kind of like the discussion that needs to be had about the like actual like ableist conversation when we talk about like, hey, just go read the subtitles. That's obviously not like a thing for everyone. But the problem is that like it's not like this US remake is so that those people who can't read the subtitles are benefiting from it. That's not their angle.
Yeah, they would just dub it if that were the case.
Yeah, and so that's the problem is that like they are just literally saying it doesn't matter. Obvious, and we've proven this, like with Minari and stuff. If it was Asian, it needs to be American, and there's no way that it can possibly like be fine with like people just seeing it as its like original state.
Yeah.
But it's obviously not true because it's like one of the most popular. It is like right now, like if I go on to any of like the top like bloggers or YouTube horror people, if you have a list of top 10 zombie movies, it is consistently always in the top 5, if not the top one first. And like that, it's huge. So it's like a movie that like I feel like they don't have an audience. And like even right now, Shudder was the one who got the rights to Peninsula when it became VOD, and they're starting to stream that this month, and they got the rights literally when they could. Like it was literally, they came out in theaters and they bought the rights immediately. And there is like, you know, people who want to see that too. And Shudder is like a Western company. I mean, it's AMC. It's like a byproduct of AMC. And so obviously people don't care. So why do you have to make a remake of this? I logistically don't see how you're going to remake this without just making a new zombie movie. And at that point, don't do you
know what would be this just came to my mind as we were talking about it. It would be actually a really good zombie movie. Zombies, but the people are stuck on the New York City subway system. I feel like that would be a good zombie movie.
I could see like something like that. And I guess maybe that's probably what they're going to be doing, but like the biggest parts about Train to Busan is literally Gong Yu's character and his role as like a family man who's not doing well and like realizing what he needs to do. It's that journey. And with like very much more sophisticated zombies, you know, like a little bit more. It's just good all around. Like
it's just a good movie.
Biased, but
it
like,
really
it's
is
like better. I mean, I certainly won't watch it. Like I won't even watch it in like I want to see the differences, because sometimes I do like to see the differences, but like for the most part they're terrible, and I don't need to watch it. I could just watch Train to Busan now because I like Train to Busan enough that I watched it 3 or 4 times already. Like I can just rewatch it again as opposed to rewatching a
remake. It's one of those things that every time like that someone tells me like, oh yeah, I really like zombie movies, I'm like, well, have you seen Train to Busan? If they haven't, I'm like, well, you gotta go see it. I'm sorry, you don't like zombie movies if you haven't seen Train to Busan.
Don't make the rules. Sorry,
that's just how it is, kids.
Well,
womp.
Whoever thinks there needs to be a Western remake of it, it's like, no, there doesn't.
No, there doesn't.
If you think there does, you need to like gut check that yourself and figure out
like,
what problem you have.
I really can't like,
because it's not like there's any. It's a very universal concept.
It is,
right?
And it also there's no way of like making me believe it's not coming from a place of xenophobia. Like it's just not. There's just no way you're gonna like come around that. Like it.
Yeah, there's not some obvious clever. Oh, it's not like we all look at it and go, oh yeah, if you take this turn and make it a little Western this, and then it would be cool. No, you're just being xenophobic. Like
like it's just
that's all.
Well, I mean, I think that's the thing, is that sometimes when you hear news about a remake, you're like, oh yeah, like you said, like I can see how that could work, or how we could tweak that to make that, and why it might be cool. But like, I'm not seeing that from anybody. Like everybody's like, I don't know how this is gonna work, and I don't know why you would bother. Like it just
it doesn't.
No reason.
As person who's been following kind of both the fandoms, like both the horror community and the like Asian drama and movie community, everybody is on the same level about how like bad of an idea this is, and everybody's just like, why this is
it's a terrible idea. It's a terrible idea. Like It's terrible.
Especially when you're talking an award-winning thing. It's like, no, just don't. It doesn't really faze me when it is like, well, there was Suits over in the US and then they bring Suits over to like K-dramas. Like, it's like, okay, Survivor, whatever.
I thought like I still haven't finished that series, but I thought it was like really cool and interesting in those kind of respects where like you see it like a show that can be brought over from different countries and then you get a little bit of a difference. Like when I'm watching like Designated Survivor here, I like have that like knowledge of the US government, but I'm watching the Korean version, I don't have that knowledge of the Korean government. And so it's like interesting to see it. So then it becomes something that's like interesting to see, but it's also like an easy switch. Like it's like this could happen in that space that they gave it, and they worked with it. But like,
and also it's like since there's such a difference between like in like the difference between like how the government of Korea operates and the government of the US operates, the fact Designated Survivor specifically is going to be a very different sort of show with just the same premise, whereas there's not enough difference between what it means to be a dad
and a human
fighting some zombies, you know? Like, that's a pretty universal concept.
Yeah. And you could get that, like, out of doing something new, like hiring a new writer to do something. Like, hell, like, hire an Asian American writer and have a full Asian American, like, cast. Like, if you really want to take this Korean movie, like, at least do something with it, but that's not going to happen. Obviously.
We're expecting too much from these people.
It's going to be Scarlett Johansson in the lead role.
God, Jesus. Speaking of movies I do actually want to watch, Chanyeol is coming out with a movie called The Box where he plays, surprise, surprise, a musician. And then immediately after that comes out, he's enlisting. Like, literally, like, week one, movie, week 2, I'm in the army. And also, you know, on the EXO train, Baekhyun's also having a comeback. So it's like 2 little comebacks, sort of. One movie comeback, one music comeback. You know, they're just slowly feeding my little EXO loving hearts, just little niblets. Like,
just a sprinkle.
Kyungsu's out of the army now, so I'm like really waiting for him to do anything. Just
I would have like done drama.
He's been signed on for the Along with the Gods for like,
well, there's that. Yeah, but I mean, like, you know, I want to see it.
I know. I'm just saying, like the movie will probably take some time.
Yeah, like it will take a little bit of time to film.
Along with the Gods, yeah.
Just, you know, Jumin's out too. I believe Suho's coming out soon. So, and just feed me. One last EXO thing, because it was possibly the dumbest story I have read in a very long time. So Yijing from he is a Calvin Klein underwear model.
Oh yeah.
Good for him. So they had put up these billboards and these ads of him looking really good and, you know, his Calvin Klein underwear looking fine. And netizens, because netizens never know when to just keep it shut, decided to make a big stink because they were upset that he had leg hair.
Had a natural thing.
They wanted him to shave and reshoot the ads because he had leg hair. But, like, he doesn't even have that much leg hair. Like, I have, like, 5 times more leg hair than he does. Like, he just had normal, like, you know, it wasn't like he wasn't a Wookiee. He has just a normal amount of leg hair.
And an awful lot of people on Twitter who were like, who's looking at his legs? Like,
like literally they have this man, a good-looking man, wearing nothing but a pair of very tight, like, boxer briefs, and the first thing you're noticing is leg hair. Like, priorities. Like, come on now. But I swear, it's always something. Do
they not understand that these companies have access access to very, very good like photoshopping tools. So if it was a problem for them, they would have taken the leg hair out already. But they didn't care, so they left it.
Because this is not just like a Asia specific like ad campaign. It's like a worldwide ad campaign, and in most of the world, men having leg hair is totally normal.
It is normal because it literally is natural. Like newsflash.
Literally everyone
I don't care
having
who
leg
I
hair
offend
is
with
normal.
this. If you think that like him having his natural leg hair is bad, you are a terrible human being.
Yeah,
so
like let
quit
it go.
Stop it.
It's like the same.
It's the easiest thing to do to change your life to make you a better person. I'm sorry, but stop being stupid and stop being crappy.
It has like the same energy where like I just don't shave most of the time. It's a lot of energy, and I have psoriasis, so I often end up just like cutting myself very badly because it'll get caught in my psoriasis, and I'm just like, fuck it, I hate it. I don't want to do it. But then like you'll see people who are like, oh, you don't shave your armpits? Like, that's so dirty. And I'm like, you don't say that to dudes who don't shave their armpits. Like, I still wash myself. Like,
I'm cleaner than you, trashy human being. Like, stop it.
Yeah, like,
you're not cute.
Like, the stank of dumpster fire is coming off of you a little strong. Like, stronger than my underarm hair. But no, stop going after people's body hair. Actually, just stop going after people's looks.
Just stop going after people.
Stop.
Period.
Like, you should, like, to be honest, you should just be happy that he's modeling in underwear to begin with. You don't have to focus in on some leg hair, you weirdos. Like, it's just so fucking weird to me.
I need to see all your receipts on, like, talking about, like, real issues, like, you know.
If you are going to spend the energy going for people,
that energy, I need your receipts to see all the petitions that you signed for those things. And if you can't show it, you don't get a speaking role in this situation.
And also, even if you can, it don't matter because it's fucking leg hair. Move on. Get a life. Get a life. Get a life. Anyway, that's updates in EXO with Natalia.
So corner.
Natalia updates with EXO. Dun, dun.
Additional update with ASTRO. Aside from the fact that they're going to have a comeback very, very, very soon. And by the time this comes out, I will have already attended a fan meeting, which I'm totally excited about because it's this annual thing that they usually physically do, of course, that is never shared online. But because of the circumstances, we all get to enjoy it. And I'm like,
little silver lining.
Right?
I mean, it's something that I thought I would never get to participate in because that's just the way it is. So it's like, well, that's pretty sweet. So the reason I'm bringing it up though is Dive Studios. Dive Studios has a lot going on. There's a lot at Dive Studios. But one of the things going on at Dive Studios is that Pentagon's Kino and ASTRO's JinJin, they started a podcast called Unboxing, which is funny because at first I really assumed they were going to like do unboxing videos. I don't know why.
Like, I would have been watching that regardless.
But so the whole premise is that they will talk about lesser known songs, and they say lesser known K-pop songs, but they don't limit themselves to simply K-pop. You know, like not just the poppy stuff. Like they talk about bands and R&B, just like everything. The first episode was pretty much kind of them introducing each other and things like that. But then the second episode, they did start doing like a playlist and things like that. So it's really fun. Of course, if you listen to it like a podcast, not watching it, you're not going to get this. So it's in Korean. You're not going to get the subtitles that way. So I recommend the YouTube version where you can actually know what's going on.
Dive Studios podcasts are really good about that, about posting everything on YouTube as well. So
that's the way they advertise and stuff. So it's really cool. They have really good chemistry. They were friends even in high school, so they've talked a lot about that. And they've promoted at the same time. Like Kino and Enwoo, even in high school, were really good friends, and JinJin and Kino were really good friends in high school too, so they all would even hang out together when they were all trainees and stuff. So I mean, they have this long backstory because they were both also like dance. I'm gonna say majors, but when you're in arts high school, it's not probably a major emphasis. They both studied dance. So
cool.
Kino did urban and JinJin did house. So like that they would always do things together. So it's really cool just to see the background of that, and then it's nice to watch friends just talk about K-pop stuff, but also it was neat seeing their playlist because like they brought up like CISO Neon and like just all types of different things, and they would kind of explain like I am from Monsta X, like he's one of my really good friends and yada yada. So I mean they would talk about all this stuff and it was really cool.
That's cool.
So cool. And then at the near the end they would just kind of talk about neat stuff. Just random, because they say it's like the happy birthday section. They didn't talk about birthdays at all specifically. It's more like just things to congratulate. Like, I don't know. It's kind of funny. So they're having a good time. So they're shortish. I mean, it was 15 minutes. I mean,
yeah,
easy watch.
Nice.
So I recommend it. It's fun.
I think I just saw this today, maybe yesterday. Somebody was talking about it, but YouTube is going to have a new K-pop documentary series called K-pop Evolution. It's by the same people who did the Hip Hop Evolution series that's on Netflix right now. It looks really interesting, and like I mean there's tons of people who've been interviewed for it, like that they're showing clips from and stuff, like Taemin and Amber and a bunch of like they're taking it way back. Like when they're looking at the evolution of K-pop, they're starting out with Taeji and the boys, and they're coming on up through like Wonder Girls and Boa and Psy, and like just so it's going to be interesting. It'll be interesting to watch and see, and I don't know. I'm interested. It's actually, I've never watched the Hip Hop Evolution, but then I was like, oh, I don't think I ever knew that was a thing, but I might go check that out now too. So
nice.
And YouTube Premium, are they still running the special where it's like, if you haven't had it before, I think you get the first 3 months free right now?
I think so. Yeah, they keep telling me I can get it, so I maybe should.
Yeah, if you can, like, especially with like
it's
the longer.
Best. Oh, it's the best if you watch a lot of YouTube.
Yeah, and
but
like
they
definitely have. I know. I mean, if you want to give me money, sure, whatever.
Yeah, like, do it.
I watch enough that like whatever. You know, I know you're a terrible company. You're owned by Google, but whatever. Anyway, and that's how Jesse ruined their sponsorship.
As if we weren't gonna say it, kind of like when we drag Vicky like all the time.
Like, but listen, Vicky, we'll change our tune if you make it a while.
Yeah,
maybe not.
But YouTube Premium,
we don't sell out.
YouTube Premium always has some sort of like deal going on, but it's usually only like a couple weeks free. So if you see these like promos, definitely get on them, because I mean 3 months, and then if you decide you don't want it, then you know, just put a little like notification in your like calendar and have it like go off the day before, and then you can be like, oh, I'll cancel my subscription. But you might actually see how wonderful it is to not have those ads. Like, so good.
Like, I know that perhaps most people don't watch as much YouTube as Jesse and I do.
That's true.
I watch a lot of YouTube. But it's so worth it. Oh, it's so worth it. If all you're doing is watching music videos, it's worth it.
In musical news, there is a casting announcement that just went out past month for the musical The Song Sun, which is going to run in Korea. Like, it's actually being a ticketed show with an actual live audience, May through July. And the cast has a bunch of our favorites in it, a bunch of our K-pop favorites. So the cast list includes Onu from SHINee, Wonpil from Day 6, Youngjae from GOT7, and Kai from Lovelyz. And
that's so fun.
It is already like sold out. I know that Interpark was going to do online stuff. I don't know if that's already sold out too. It's just, there's a lot of like love for this
awesome.
musical, and it's got a good lineup of people. Like, I'm really excited, especially because it's like Wonpil's first musical, and I think that's exciting for him to be able to do that. And then I really like Young Jae's voice, so that works out. Yeah, it's just all around
nice.
Seems like
hopefully
a fun
we'll be able
thing.
to get an online viewing of it at some point. That would be nice.
Yeah, I have to look again. I mean, like, I wasn't going to try for it because tickets prices and stuff, and I already paid too much for stuff. So I was like, no, well, you can like forgo this, Jesse. But it might be already sold out. I know, like, the tickets are already sold out. So sorry if you're in Korea, you can't get a ticket.
Womp womp.
It might come later because, like, timing wise, when the musical that I watched, I'm trying to remember what it was called. Anyway, the one that Hui and Hui Sung were on, I feel like it had their normal theater run for quite a bit, and then kind of near the end of that is when but of course the pandemic was also spiking then, so it was kind of a different situation. But timing wise, they kind of did the online stuff later in the run, it felt like.
Yeah, and usually the way that like theater is set up, if there's a discussion and like an actual like solid like plan of extending a run, you don't know that until like halfway through the run. It's very much based on sales of like and who comes and like the reception of it. So it's definitely something that, I mean, even the higher ups won't know until there's actual like runs of this show going on. So there's a potential that it, goes on, especially because it's a musical and it's big in Korea, and they do tend to have like those swing actors, so like they're all like, not all that cast is like going to be on every night. That's the thing. There'll be people who want to see the lead role as one or the other, and then also that just kind of like also makes it so that like other people can join and kind of have that experience too, which extends stuff like that. But
one thing I will say is I think the people putting it on too is Shin's Wave, which it's the same company that did that other one, and they were good about, even as they were like rehearsing and stuff, they did some neat behind the scenes either info drops just kind of on Twitter, videos here and there and stuff. Like, I don't remember if it was on V-Live. Like, they shared some fun behind the scenes, like all the same, all the people that had the same role, like practicing together and stuff.
That's cool.
Yeah, and like also as a side note in the musical Newsland, I'm gonna try to get to it because I don't actually have it listed. But Interpark is creating like more services for online accessibility for theaters to do stuff, and they're creating more packages, which like are packages that include the space and the setup and stuff for theaters to buy this package to do online productions.
Sweet.
Which is like really cool. If you need a prop person, hey, I'm here.
You're free.
I'm free, and they're not really doing that here in where I'm living, so please
sponsor your visa. Yay!
I went to school for theater too, so it's easy. Come on. Got that degree. Please. Some good stuff for musicals and theater lovers.
Nice. That's amazing. So, remember when we did that episode on the remake of another Oh Hae Young in Thailand?
Right.
Well, apparently people in Thailand really like that because they appear to have remake of Fever. There's a ton of shows that are coming out that are remakes of Chinese and Korean shows. Right now, a remake of Let's Fight Ghost is currently airing.
How many versions of that is there? Oh no, I'm thinking of Bring It. Not Let's Fight Ghost. I'm thinking of Oh My Ghost.
Oh My
which
Ghost.
Is also
yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
They already did that one. Yeah, that was a couple years ago. They're in a remake of In Time with You is airing on the 24th of
that
March.
one has a ton of remakes because it has a Korean, it has the Taiwanese, the Japanese.
Yeah.
I think there's like a second Korean one too, maybe.
Wow.
Probably. They're remaking You're My Heartbeat, which is a remake of Fox's Summer, a Chinese drama, which I actually really enjoyed. So I'm like curious now because very divergent filming styles between China and Thailand. So I'm intrigued. They're also remaking. These are all finished filming, and that one's finished filming, but there's no release date. And the other ones that are still filming are a remake of Boss and Me, My Queen, which was a Taiwanese show, I Need Romance 3 for some reason. They seem to have skipped over 1 and 2 and gone directly for 3.
Go for what you like, I guess.
Which is starring New, who's like a very well-known actor.
Oh.
They're, of course, redoing Signal.
Of
Why
course.
not?
Of course, Signal also has a Japanese remake.
Yep, and they're redoing a remake of Bad Guys, the Korean crime dramas. So there's like a lot of remakes are coming. Oh, and Amanda, for your interest, I do believe that the remake of Boss and Me stars Push. So,
well, hey there.
Hello. He's a very handsome actor. Not originally pretty. So handsome, but hey, through the magic of modern science has become incredibly handsome. And
his money went good places. Like it just, sometimes it's not so good and you're like, ooh.
He's living his best.
Too much, friend.
He's a good actor, so enjoy that. So look forward to about 1 billion remakes coming out of Thai television. And as a little side note, there's also a historic. This one's I'm really interested in, and I promised Joy that I would mention it because she specifically asked me to mention it the next time we had a news episode. Is that there's a very famous actress called Davrika who is starring in a historical drama called Wanthong, which is very interesting because it is a feminist historical drama. Oh. So that should be interesting. So hopefully we'll be able to find subs for that one. Yes. Well. All right, Sky. What is your last piece of news?
I'm kind of
she's like, oh god.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna make this into just a small blurb about what K-Contact has been thus far, but the main headlining thing to mention about it so far. Dreamcatcher covered 2 p.m.
Oh, it was sick. It was sick.
It was so great because it was literally like the same day as Junho's Be Live 2, or like the actual like discharge of him. It was perfect. They like planned it.
Oh, it was.
It was,
toy.
And it was my
toy.
Specifically, it was the song "My House,"
which perfect.
And they wore suits.
Oh, it was hot.
They killed the vocals and the choreo, just everything.
They've done the like a snippet of it before on Idol Radio. But it was only Dami and Du, and it wasn't like it was just them singing it. This was like an actual like redone version of My House to make it rock.
Yeah,
nice. It was so good.
It was good.
So good.
I mean,
and the way that all works is good luck finding it.
Yeah,
you can't. Like,
I tried a little bit, and then I got in trouble.
I
got in Twitter jail.
Twitter jail.
No, they deleted the post, but
no, I deleted it. But they like
I deleted it.
I deleted it.
It came for you.
But they deleted the original person because I wasn't the original one to post it. So, but they were like, "Hey,
no. It was hot. Cool. It was hot.
But another thing to note about K-Contact, Eric Nam is not there.
I know, so sad. Gigwam's doing his best. Like today, he did a sick body roll limbo with Jessie that was very impressive. Also, Jessie wore possibly the funniest jacket.
Oh my god, it's so funny.
Ever seen it?
I don't know how.
I don't know how she got away with it. Like from the front, it looks just like a regular cropped pink jean jacket. And then she turns around, and on the back is a giant sign that says, "Hot moms in your area want to fuck now." And then there's a website. And it's literally... I lost it! I was like, no. No,
the way that she, like, I mean, like, for the most part, she's, like, standing in front of the, like, cameras. But, like, the back of the jacket is facing all the, like, video of the, like, people who are watching.
Fans.
Yeah, fans.
Dying.
So then she was really touched. She was really touched by seeing all of her fans, so she would turn around and we were like, what?
And I was crying laughing at this jacket. And then she does the meet and greet in the jacket too. Like, and see, if it was an idol who didn't speak English and wasn't from New Jersey, I would be like, oh, they probably just didn't know that was like really appropriate. Girl's from New Jersey. She knew what she was doing when she put that jacket on. Oh my god, I love her so
Especially with the reason it's extra funny is K-Contact. Especially with the meet and greets. It feels like it's aged down a lot as far as like, it almost feels like they're going for the 12, 13-year-old crowd when realistically that is not really the audience.
No. This is not the Disney Clubhouse. Like,
but they treat it like Disney Clubhouse a lot. And it's just like, whatever. That's what made it extra funny. The fact, like, meet and greet Disney Clubhouse style with that jacket on. Like,
oh my god. They're also doing this thing where it's like, every day is in like a different city that KCON takes place in, and part of it, the meet and greets, is that they're like bringing food from the city and like making and the groups have to like do a game in order to eat it. And which group was it? Like those poor boys. I think it was the boys. Now that I think about
was it the boys or TXT?
No, I think
no, it was TXT.
I think the boys got the LA burger, quote unquote, that was cold.
That was cold. And then it was TXT. TXT got hot dogs, and they wheeled out the grossest looking hot dogs I have ever seen. And then it's like they start like that. So that took place in LA, and then like today, it was like taking place in Tokyo, and like the first dude on there, like they're rolling out this like delicious looking sushi, and I'm like, oh, TXT, God, with those nasty looking hot dogs.
To explain the location thing, the way they try to portray this is they try to make it look like a stadium. And then the like little extra things they do will be themed. Like they'll talk to one of the groups that did go to like LA, and so they'll talk about LA memories and share a picture or something. But the stadium is not badly done, honestly. Like, no, it's, you know, it's a fake jumbotron, a ton of fake light sticks being waved. It's a nice thought. The problem is the cameraman's desire to show the fake stadium when the group is performing.
Yeah,
that is like, or be like real close up during really complicated choreography, and you want to see the complicated choreography, but it's on like someone's half of their face, and you're like, oh, back that shit up.
Just sweep in and sweep out and sweep in and sweep out, and you're like, but this is like a full choreo, and they're all singing. Yeah. It's like literally the cameraman was like, no, it's my time to shine, not yours. and it's badly done, but it's actually, you can tell it is planned. This is like a choreographed thing that this camera person is doing. It's just the production manager or like the director of the entire production is like said that was the thing. It's so bad because they sweep so fast, and so it's like sweep in, sweep out, sweep in, sweep out, and you're but these people, they dance, and so
it's one
I can't
thing,
see they're dancing.
It's one thing during the songs where it is like we're standing here with standing mics. It's like fine, whatever. But like when it is dancing, it's like no, don't do what you're doing.
Just think of, you know, how like a bird comes in and sweeps in and like grabs your burger or like grabs that crumb.
The seagull comes in for the fry.
Think of the bird as the camera person, and that's what KCON is.
No, I will say today there was we're recording this on Thursday, and Icon was on. They did fine. They're not really known for dancing, so there was less of this like we're missing out. But they did like a relay dance where they had like the main, them doing the relay dance in the line, like in the center, and then they had 4 little cameras on the side. And I don't think that Bobby specifically realized that the 4 little cameras were filming the people who were still in line, not in the front. Because, like, there's at one point where he's just like, he looks like he is in another planet. And all of a sudden he looks over, realizes he's being filmed, and bursts out laughing. He was just like spaced out, waiting for his turn, like not having like, because he thinks he's in the back of the line.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was fine. They did Love Scenario, which it was great, but it's always like a little bittersweet now. Because I'm like, literally that was the song that made B.I. like rich and famous, and then you kicked him out, so womp womp. But anyway, I'm like really curious to see what they do on Kingdom, because they're not like known for their dance choreography in any great way. Like they're fine, but they're not, the boys and 80s. So I'm actually really curious to see what B2B and Icon
those are
like
the
pull out. Like, what are they gonna do?
You're like,
what are they gonna pull out on this, performance?
They're gonna be like, we're just here and we like can do anything because we're all older than you and seniors.
Yeah. We're just happy to be invited. So I'm looking forward to that too, as a little aside. But
cool.
So
KCON's been fun.
Yeah. And we'll talk more about that later. But
yeah,
that was just Dreamcatcher doing 2 p.m.'s My House was like
sick. It was sick.
The best thing thus far.
They just want to be my alt, and I'm fighting it hard, but
don't fight it. Give in.
I know.
Give in, Jesse. Give in to the darkness.
Well, watch you give in like right before 2 p.m.'s come back, and then you're gonna be like, I got a double alt. See, double alts happen.
I've never had like a double alt.
Well,
so
these things happen
group,
if you open your heart.
Group,
that does believe in your dreams.
I mean, I guess.
Believe in your dreams, Jesse. You too can have 2 alts.
I mean, yeah,
alt triad.
At this point, I'm having like, here's my handful of alts, and then I have like my alt of alts.
Yeah, same.
Well, I mean, that's how it is kind of with me. I've got like 2 p.m. and then it's Day 6 and Dreamcatcher, and then Monsta X. Even though I don't talk about it online, I'm still very much involved in what they do, and they do a lot. So that's a little hard. That's a thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe we'll. They're just so good.
Oh, and Jesse and I will be going to the the online Dreamcatcher concert tomorrow and the next day. So that'll be fun.
I had 3 Dreamcatcher concerts this week.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
I will be alone in KCON tomorrow.
We will still be there. I can have both of them up.
Yeah.
Fair.
So anyway, I'm not going to miss Ace, Dag Nabbit. I'm going to be there.
I know Everglow is tomorrow, and I really want to see Everglow.
Yeah. So is Hyuna, so I'm going to be there. They're pulling out all the stops for Friday morning, let me tell you.
Yeah. It's the big one.
Mm-hmm. Anywho, this has been the Newsnas, where we talk about just little news stories that have happened recently that we find interesting. We're glad that you listened. Now, big new fun announcement. Normally at this point I say, if you want to be a supporter of this podcast, go to Coffee. But no more, for we have switched to Patreon. So you can go to patreon.com/certifiednoonas, because that is where the new home of our found family is going to live. We have some tiers on there with special little extras. It's gonna be great. So if you want to support this podcast,
we moved into a new apartment.
Yeah, we have a new apartment. It's got better utilities.
More bedrooms.
It's in a nicer part of town. We have more room for the found family to come stay. We have actual guest beds, not a futon. You know what I'm talking about. So we're on patreon.com/certifiednoonas. You can find us there. That is where we live now. And of course, if you want, we'll be slowly but surely putting up all the old podcast episodes over there. And, we have other stuff planned. We have some fun, community things planned. So we hope that, you can join us there if you're able to. We appreciate all of our fan family. And if you are a member of the fan family and this is news to you, we will be reaching out to you professionally to move you over. So don't worry about it. Thank you for listening. If you want to listen to us, we're anywhere podcasts can be found, but we are also on certifiednoonas.com, where all the links and time codes to everything that we talk about is on each podcast episode. You can also find us on our social media, mostly Instagram and Twitter, and it's always @certifiednoonas, and you can email us at certifiednoonas@gmail.com, and that's basically it. So we hope you have a fantastic week and keep enjoying Asian entertainment. Bye!